This can be done through movements and cross-references. And you've already seen these tabs, these portals in the different sections. And I'm also going to introduce this through an example. So movements. Movements allow us to create relationships through a voyage or a more abstract route. And these are connections to locations as the different route points. There's connection to agents, so the captain, the crew, the passengers. And there's the relationship also to commodities through these cargo manifests that we can include. There's also, of course, the connection to references, the sources that talk about that particular movement. And we also have these two other auxiliary tables, which are the verified ships and also the constellations that these movements are a part of. What the movements is not really connected to is to diseases or units. For that, we need the cross-reference system. So we're going to use an example of a voyage to look at how this movements portals, the different portals in the movements layout actually help us include these relationships. And we're going to create a movement for Christopher Columbus's voyage on the Santa Maria. So here we go. We create a new record, either by clicking up here or right in this, this navigation part that's at the top of the record. So here we created one. We're going to add the name of the ship, Santa Maria. And this is a yellow star that indicates us that the Santa Maria is already in the database as a verified ship. If we enter La Pinta, which is another one of the ships in this constellation, we see that it does not have the yellow star. It is gray because it hasn't been introduced. So Santa Maria here, we enter that, and this will take us directly to the table. So here we see the Santa Maria. The type of ship is already included here. All kinds of different fields that you can associate with the ship itself and not just the voyage. Okay, so this is in the ship's verified table, which you'd find here in the menu on the top left. Under movements tables, you have ships verified. But we're going to go back to movement details, right? So we have Santa Maria. We can write here that it is a carrack. Flag, Spanish. The captain name, we don't enter directly here. That's why it has this little editing button here. So here we have the opportunity to enter the captain and all other, all different kinds of passengers and crew members. So here we're going to enter the captain, and it would be Christopher. Let's see. I'm going to try and find. So this would be AAA, Cassim, Chaco. These are all the people that are already in the database. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a Christopher Columbus, only Cristóbal Romero, Cristóbal Muñoz. So what we're going to do is go to agents, and in agents we're going to create a new record, right? So here, let's use Cristóbal Colón, which is the Spanish name, type, individual, gender, male, identity, genuine. We won't really add anything about the dates, the occupation or titles. Let's not add something there right now. Name variants, for example, we can add Christopher Columbus. English, Cristoforo Colombo in Italian also. And I mean, there's different possibilities for introducing names in Chinese characters and other Asian variants. This is different than what you see, for example, with commodities, where there's much more structure to include as many names as possible in the different languages. Okay, yes, so agent details. And now that we have Cristobal Colon here, we can go back to movements. We go to agents, the captain, and now we go to Cristobal Colon is here. And he has been entered. And we have the identity again, genuine, title, description. We're not going to really add anything there. We see that this is common to all these different portals. Whenever you create a record, if you go to the little pencil here, it will allow you to add more information, right? So remarks, or delete the reference, confirm and close. So one important thing is that and I did this backwards now, but I can show you that we need to add the locations, right? So we have location number 1, and the root point is origin, and this would be, let's go down to Puerto Escondido, Puerto Marqués, Puerto de Palos, Palos de la Frontera, I think I created. Okay, so here it is, Palos de la Frontera, the location, and I don't know when he didn't really arrive, he left from there, the departure, not sure, and then we have number 2, the destination, and this is again another place. So we have to go down to San Salvador. Okay, so San Salvador is here now. And here we do know that he arrived on the 12th of October. Here I have, as you will see in different areas of the different layouts, I have sort of information, handy information in these question marks. And here it is about the date formats. So you can either write the year and the month, or the year, month, and day, but following these formats. Okay. So here we know, for example, the reference year, of course, is 1492, and we know that arrival. Oh, so I've changed this. San Salvador, Salagua. Switch it back. Okay, so arrival was 1492, 10, 12. Okay, so let's go back to the agents. So here I'm gonna delete this, and we're gonna apply the segment, right? So this gives us the possibility to include people on the inbound or outbound voyage. So here we're going to start with the origin, Palos de la Frontera, and San Salvador. And again, we have captain, name, we go to Cristobal Colon, and then we can write identity or title description. Okay, and it should appear, oh, so we don't have the identity. Let's write genuine. Now let's write title discover. And that will appear here. The next part of this portal is the reference value. That's when we know that there's taxes, like Almojarifazgo in Manila. We can add these reference values that give us an idea of how large the cargo is. This part at the bottom is the tabulated total that actually is what is added up from the commodities portal. So now we get here to the constellation. And the constellations you have to create in the constellations table from the very beginning. So these are the different constellations. And here we have Columbus's first voyage at the very bottom. and the label name is 1492 Columbus First Voyage. So we return to movement details, and here we get this, this menu, the 1492 Columbus Voyage. And we already know I've entered the information that this constellation has 3 ships. Here we have more information, is the classification, it's a voyage, category, in this case it's, I don't think I have it in the system, but transatlantic, activities, official, exploration, and they didn't really have an illegitimate purpose. So I'm not going to go into this in great detail because it's not really completely ready, but in the commodities we can add information as to what was taken on board. Again, it has this applied segment, so you can do it either in the outbound direction from Palos de la Frontera to San Salvador, and you can also do it the other way around, from San Salvador back to Spain. So here, let's just write something, 10 cajones. This is in Spanish right now, though there are the possibilities, it's already functional, to use the lexicon in English, in Dutch, Chinese, or just the label values. It's Spanish by default and pesos by default, just because that's what we are working with the most. So we get here quantity unit item is, let's say, gold, oro, right? And you can add the specifications, and these 10 cajones of oro were worth 3,000 silver pesos. So that's quality, right? Color amount, 3,000 silver pesos. And this allows us to create another one. So 12, not necessarily unit, but let's say cockatoos, the birds, right? So this is the possibility of adding all this through the commodities portal. And again, we delete this way. This allows us to include the consigner, consignee, recipient, remarks about this item of goods. This would take us to the commodity details page. So here we are with gold. And here we go back to movements. Again, this navigation takes us to Christopher Columbus. Go to movements. This will take us to Palos de la Frontera, which we can then see on the map. Right, so this is, once you're familiar with this kind of navigation, it becomes very easy. Okay, so that is movements.